What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Case Digital. My name is Zach. In today's video, we're answering the question of what does RStrip do in Python. So if you don't know, RStrip is a function related to strings. And this question came up because I put a quiz question in my community, which I usually have one every day. But in that quiz question, it asks what strip does. And strip essentially will remove all white space, both front and, both left and right side of a string. And it'll just remove it all, right? Well, someone asked the question, well, what does RStrip do? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's hop right in and start coding. So like I mentioned, strip alone in Python will remove both the trailing and leading white space characters. So if strip by itself does it, well, what does RStrip for? Well, RStrip stands for right strip. So if we come in here and we'll just print this out. So print, and I'll do an F string to help show this because this will be easier. And ID string one dot RStrip, and then we just say that equal to that, and we'll do the same thing for all of these. And I'm gonna go one by one, just to show in 3. All right, so let's do the first one. In this first one, you can see that there is essentially no white space characters here, right? It's just hello world, no leading or trailing white space. So if we run this, you'll see that it's just going to print out, this, it's just going to say the result of this is going to equal to this string right here, which just says hello world, which is essentially what we got, right? So if we do our strip on string 2, well, string 2 has leading white space in the string. So if we go ahead and run this, you'll see that strip 2 will keep that leading white space, and it'll just return basically the string that we got here. Now, as you probably guessed by now, string 3 has some trailing white space, and so if I go ahead and I run this will essentially remove that trailing white space, and you're left up with a string that is very similar, or which is the exact same as basically hello world, which is string 1, except for that trailing white space is gone. Now, it doesn't matter if this is like a billion spaces or 1 space, it's going ahead and remove it. And again, I can show you this because I can put an R right in here, and if I do this, it's going to keep that R and remove everything out after it, right? So again, this could also be a mixture of white space characters, so I can throw in a new line here, remove the R, throw in a new line. Again, we get back to our original hello world. Let's throw in some tabs and maybe some return characters, some other spaces and some tabs and a new line. You can see that all of that gets removed. Now, just to show you that all that's getting removed, what if I place a character, again, R, right here, and we run this, you'll see that our string ends up very differently as we get all of this different information here, right? So if I were to take this out and just take this out of the F statement, or F string, excuse me, and just print this by itself, so you see the natural flow of the string, and you're gonna see this is essentially that string that you end up with. Now, when I do this RStrip, it's gonna give you all of the characters, or when I put it in this F string like this, it's going to just give you all these characters to show you that they're there. But naturally, when you run this and you just were to do this, either reassigning it to a new string or printing this out, this is the value that you'd get with that because I put that R there. Now, if I don't put that R there and I rerun this, again, it's going to remove all of it. You end up with just hello world by itself. The only reason I put this in an F string is so that we can see the quotes. And there's another way you can do that is you could essentially say repr and then also do that. And if I rerun this, you'll see that's there. If I put the R in here, you'll see that that'll also print out very similar. The repr will print out very similar, just to show the behind the scenes what white space characters are actually in your string. So that is what RStrip does in Python. It basically just removes everything to the right of the string. All the whites, not everything, excuse me. It removes all of the white space characters to the right of the string. And if there's any like white space in between additional characters that are not white space, it'll preserve those just like we have right here. It's preserving this. But if I were to remove it, and this is all strictly, these are now technically all strictly white space characters. If I rerun this, again, it's going to remove it. So I hope that helps. And this is what RStrip does in Python. If you have any other questions about this, leave them in the comments below. But until next time, keep on programming.